Hey, good morning.
How's it going?
It's going. It's going. I'm getting jitters about next week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my Facebook ads are not performing the way they should. So that um, they're generating very expensive leads essentially, and they're
Yeah.
not supposed to. This is supposed to be one of the cheapest ways of advertising,
Right.
but we'll see. We'll see. And so,
Well, you
and
still have
now,
what, 50 something people? 56 people,
how
or how many people you got?
54.
54. So,
I don't know how many will actually go through the course
yeah.
because there's usually the number of people sign up, half of them maybe get into the Facebook group, maybe a half of that go through the course.
Yeah.
So I don't really have that big of a population to play with in terms of conversion,
Right.
but at least get some feedback.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good place to start, I think.
Yeah, and then I'm thinking that the next beta I want to do is already using Natalie's program
Yeah.
because all of a sudden I just started. You know how you begin sometimes questioning yourself,
Yeah.
the
Imposter syndrome.
syndrome. Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like, wait, what am I going to be teaching in my signature program? Do I know anything about this? Will anyone really care? And so it's like, oh, stop the spin.
Yeah.
And I also realized that uh, offering too much is just as bad as not offering enough.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me just close the door. In other words, I was thinking like in my signature program, we're gonna crack. Let me just read this out to you because this is where is it? Dun, 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 dun. No, 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 no. Oh yeah, here we go. So we go business plan essentials, like freaking cracking open the whole business planning process. Marketing online. Just think about the gravity of the subject of marketing online by itself,
Yeah. For most people,
let
that's a
alone
course right there.
well, yeah, that's not only a course, that's multitude of courses.
Yeah.
SEO is a
That's
course
true.
just by itself. Building online presence, customer journey truth. It's like, yeah, I'm biting off more than I can chew. And so this is, and then yesterday I sat down and started thinking, okay, so actually, you know what? Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
You have nutritionists, and they're very candid about some of them are afraid of continuing to spin the wheels and not being able to get to where they want to go. So they sit through this course, and I expose them to the fact that, look, guys, you're actually all entrepreneurs. Good for you. This is what traits you need to be looking at. This is why it's fantastic because you can operate all of the levers in your business. Next, let's talk about your niche. What can you do? This is how you define it. This is how you test it. This is how you validate this. And this is how you land on something that both has an audience, it can be profitable, and suits your passions and interests. Super. Done. Where would you want to go from here? Let's say I did this exercise with you, because you've just been like digging in so many different areas, and you and I sat down and I kind of talked you through this because just like a sounding board, and you're
Yeah.
like, okay, Nadeem, leadership is my niche. Got it. Leadership at many different levels, but leadership. Boom. It's not a niche, but moving on. What would you want to know next?
Um, well, I think that the next step is it's like the what are the practical steps that I take? What are the tactics? So you basically, and I mean I kind of described this when we started working together, which was like I was standing at the edge of a cliff and you pushed me off, but then it wasn't
Okay,
a
for everyone watching this,
it wasn't
that's
this is a metaphor, but it wasn't a cliff
yes.
at all, and it was just the next step. But it's like you're leading up to the idea. I think that here's what you need to know. Here's the mindset you have to be in. Here's all the knowledge you need to get your business going. Now you have to actually go and do it. So it's you know, I don't know if it gets as prescriptive as on day one you do this, on day two you do this, or if it's week one, whatever. But what are all those milestones? It's kind of like I think about one of the things that resonates with me with the course I'm on is that he has this roadmap, which is his milestones,
Yeah.
and it's a very simple framework to understand that if you haven't done X, then you're at milestone 1. And so in his program, milestone 1 is that you have a coaching conversation with somebody who's not in the course and is not a coach. So it's just a person. And then milestone
You
number.
never asked me if you wanted to coach me, but
Well, I've been coaching you all this time. You haven't even realized. That's the brilliance.
oh, I see. I see. This is why Greg has been silent. This is a typical. It's like I should have been a psychiatrist. All you have to do is sit in the chair and say, "How do you feel?"
That's what coaching is.
Shut up.
It's creating the conditions for people to have insights and realizations, which is often just listening and giving them a safe space to explore what's already inside. Milestone 2 is telling people that you're running a coaching business or that you're a coach. It's getting over that hurdle because kind of like you were saying, like imposter syndrome and all this stuff, like that's what a lot of coaches have is that, they start panicking and going like, fuck, I'm the one who needs to be coached. How can I be coaching people?
Yeah.
So if you have some milestones or some, like maybe that's a good approach to take.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking more of a pare down the whole business planning and get more technical, and then get them leads. Get people leads who want to sign up for their products. But if they have leads, they need something to sell. So let's talk about what you're going to sell.
Yeah, it's kind of like what you're going through too. Like you're going through a step-by-step program on your course, right?
Yeah. Greg, how much is your leadership course?
The one I'm building now, I'm looking at $499.
$499.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many modules is it?
It's 6 modules, released 1 module per week, so it's a 6-week program.
And what does it cover? I'm not gonna. I know I'm asking questions without explaining where I'm going.
That's okay.
I'm just thinking, because I'm going to be selling my program, the next step of the program for quite a hefty amount of $35 to $100 to $4,000.
Yeah.
Here's what I was thinking. What if I included leadership for entrepreneurs, let's say,
Yeah.
as part of that course?
Yeah. That's a brilliant idea.
Yeah, because I was thinking that would be tremendous.
Yeah, I'm in.
How much would you sell it to me for?
I don't know. For you get the friends and family discount.
Yeah, what's the friends and family discount? $1?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Let's figure that out.
The reason I ask is because I was writing a sales page.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get into the soft stuff, but what you said right now, the soft stuff matters a lot.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing what you said about creating the circumstances, like that's good verbiage.
Yeah.
Like creating the circumstances to be able to figure out your blocks.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be focusing on the technical blocks.
Yeah.
You already have something built for the mental blocks.
Yeah.
So I would just say, like, massive bonus. Greg from Team UYP is offering this course at $499, you said?
Yeah.
Like $499 included in this package.
Yeah.
So it's like, whoa, that's fantastic. For me, that's brilliant because I'll pay you what, $200, $100 maybe, even, maybe 25, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. My first inclination was free, but.
That's not fair.
No, I know, but I don't know. Like
what I'm saying is,
let's not get ahead of ourselves. But
I would direct them to your site so you can get these people.
Exactly.
And this is my problem because I don't have the number of people who convert.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But so would you be game?
I totally would be.
Excellent. So I'll include the bonus in my sales page.
Yeah. 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 So, I mean, I can, when are you, what's your timeline? Like, I know your beta course is starting April 5th.
The mini course runs for 2 weeks beginning next Monday.
Yeah.
The week after that is the sales week.
Okay.
the sales week closes, and I'm giving myself a 3 week pause, a 2 week, 2 to 3 week pause. I mean, the pause doesn't want to. You don't want the pause to be too long,
Yeah.
so people cool off. So maybe 2 weeks pause, and then I go into my signature program, which is going to last for anywhere from I'm thinking 4 to 6 months.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. No, I think that's a great idea. I mean, it's the way I'm building this course. It lends itself to me replicating it for like repurposing it like all those other versions of it. So having a
Yep.
version that is leadership for entrepreneurs or leadership for holistic nutritionists. I don't know how
Yeah,
holistic nutritionist practitioners, how narrowly defined we want to make it. I mean, I'm happy to
yeah. I'm making
customize
it.
it that way.
Yeah, I'm all of my lingo in my course right now is specifically holistic nutrition, so I'm not casting the net broader than that.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. No, I'm in. I mean, I think.
Because that would be it's a sweet ass, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That would be a great addition because in my case, I don't have to create any new content, and there's definite value there.
Yeah.
There's like obvious value there.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, I mean, I'm willing to do it for nothing for the launch, and once we get some traction on it, then we can, arrive at because I don't want to, I don't want to take money before you're making money.
Well,
So I'm willing to help if this gives you one little notch to add to a bonus and that attracts people and you get momentum, then I can start siphoning off your money.
well, here's the thing: if people sign up and if people go through the course, I'm more than willing to share.
Yeah.
It's nothing different than me being like finding
Yeah,
an
an
affiliate.
affiliate or something. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's if this is something that pushes people over the edge, like $499 for free, yeah, damn, of course.
Yeah. Cool. No, it's a great idea. Synergy.
Exactly. Well, I like big words.
Yeah.
I like big words, and I cannot lie. I guess I'm going to be.
It's one of my favorite habits. Habit 6, synergize.
So how was your day?
It was good. I mean, I enjoyed our conversation in the morning, our little interview. Thought it went very well. I mean, it doesn't hurt that we talk every day, so it's just like a natural extension of
Yeah.
what we already do. And then I got my version 1 of my course sent off to my friend, so for module 1 last night. So that felt good to get that finished. It's basically it's 30 minutes of content, of which 10 minutes is just a 2 5-minute countdown timers. So it's really 20 minutes of actual content, and then there's 3 worksheet exercises. So it's good. I mean, my aim is each module is, fairly short, like maybe maximum 40 minutes, but 20 to 40 minutes of content to digest. But then the exercises, there's 1 to 3 exercises per module, and they're designed for some tangible results, right? Like somebody's going to go through them, and they're gonna have hopefully a positive reaction to it.
That's cool.
So I did a survey at the beginning of the course, which was just asking them about like how long they've been in management, have they taken leadership courses before, what do they want to learn. I don't know. I think there's 7 questions in total. And then at the beginning of each section, so in module 2, it starts with a questionnaire or survey about module 1, so I can get kind of real-time feedback as people work through it. So that's good. I have a coaching call this afternoon. And Grumo, Miguel from Grumo reached out. I'm assuming it's to all the beta testers, but now he's setting up Zoom calls to discuss the feedback on his app. So it's great because now I have a live conversation set up with him for Friday. So that's kind of
interesting.
Yeah.
And so this is going to be the first time you speak to him live, right?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, and tomorrow is our coaching call for our course, and I'm I'm number 3 on the agenda for being coached. So I get to speak to that guy live in person tomorrow
That's also
as well.
exciting.
So
Yeah, so I see, yes, I see the difference between our programs because I have coaching hours every day with a multitude of different coaches,
yeah,
and that's probably that's what's driving the expense up.
yeah. Well, ours, like you can and people have been. They post questions in the Facebook group, and the guy's pretty good at answering them and getting back to people quickly. His premise too is get what you came for, demand value. So he tells a story about he was in a course with somebody, and all the way through the course, the guy kept leaning over to him and saying, like, I hope they're going to cover this, or I hope they're going to cover that. And then it got to the end of the course, and the guy's like, I really wish they covered this stuff. And he's like, well, why didn't you just tell them? So the premise of his course is like, you're with me for 12 weeks. If there's things you want, questions you want answered, ask them. Like, demand value for your money. Like, if you expect to learn something and I'm not covering it, tell me, and I'll cover it. So it's a good platform. Like these coaching calls. I mean, we've only had one so far, but it's like going through a therapy session, basically.
Seriously.
Yeah. So it's quite like I've been watching his sessions. It's quite remarkable. I mean, this stuff is actually like his clarity program, the 3 principles. It's much deeper and mind blowing than I ever really thought it would be. So
And how so?
Well, I mean, the one I watched last night before I went to bed was, basically the premise of the principles is reality is a misnomer. Reality is not real, even though real is in the name. That we all have separate realities. Even this phone call, like your reality of this phone call is different than my reality of this phone call, because both of our brains are taking in data, informing an impression of what's going on. Now, a lot of it will be similar or aligned, but it's different. Your reality is different than my reality, even though we're experiencing the exact same thing at the exact same time, because that's just the way our brains work. Our reality is your reality is yours, and my reality is mine. And he gets into like a lot of what you're saying, imposter syndrome and self-doubt, or feelings and questioning things. Like, feelings aren't real. They're just thoughts you're having in the moment about something. Anyway, I'm not doing it justice because
that is profound.
Yeah, and
it's also true.
Yeah, it's a very transformative realization when like you start, and these are a lot of the questions that are happening in my course. People are like, oh my god, I have a coaching client and I don't know what to do, I'm getting nervous. Okay, but that's just thought. You just think you're nervous. You're just having these feelings and you're interpreting them in a certain way. And once you realize it's just thought in the moment, it kind of just dissipates and you get clear. Like he has this graph, which is like a wave going up and down below a line. So the straight line is reality. The up and down is your thinking about reality. So the bigger the gap between the straight line and your wavy line, that's your misunderstanding of reality. And basically in moments when you're nervous, anxious, and so on, that's a bigger gap. Your understanding of reality is misaligned to reality.
So that's a good visual.
Yeah, so it's and the closer you get to the line, that's clarity. The more clear you become, and it goes back to what we were talking about yesterday in terms of insights and realizations. Like when you're at your best in terms of having insight and realization, it's when you're the closest to reality. You're in clarity, and you're basically channeling. You're getting in touch with who you really are, your true inner self. And and when you watch him demonstrate, basically that the answers don't come from him; they come from within the person. And it's like I said at the beginning of the call. His mission is to generate the conditions for people to have insights and realizations. So basically, as he's talking to people, he's bringing them to a place where their graph is narrowing between their misunderstanding of reality and actual reality. And when it gets close enough, you can see it. They start having an insight or a realization that solves whatever problem it is that they've started talking about. I don't know. It's pretty remarkable shit.
Very impressive indeed.
Yeah. So. And the other part, like the one yesterday, I guess it was the one I watched the night before, is that your insight and realizations don't come from your intellect.
Your insight and realization, okay.
So this is where people, especially smart people, get hung up, is that they try to think their way to a realization or an insight. But that's not how it works. Your insight and realization comes from within. It's like you're the embodiment of who you are. It's not thought. Your intellect is thought. So you can't think your way into an insight. In fact, the insight, the reason it shows up when you're in the shower or when you're in a meditative state is because you're not thinking. Your intellect is kind of gone to sleep, and then you have the realizations and insights. Because your intellect is like a machine that's making too much noise for you to actually engage with the calmness of your true self. Have I blown your mind yet?
It is. It's well, when you begin to think about it, it upends a lot of things that we as human beings believe.
Exactly. We are living in a collective misunderstanding of reality. It's very matrixy, which is like why it's so hard to get your mind around it.
It's so interesting. I excluded this lesson from this mini course, but I had this lesson. You might have seen it, the one that starts with black and white. Like everything I told you before is a lie.
No, I didn't see that one.
That's how the video opens up. It's
Okay.
like a very dramatic one.
Yeah.
And then I go to talk about biases and how biases are shortcuts to interpret reality.
Yeah.
The biases inherently lead us astray because the more we rely on it, it was fascinating. It was, I think we talked about this
Yeah,
before.
I think we have.
Yeah, it was fascinating to think about it in that way because, those thought patterns that we believe, we not only believe, but we rely on
Yeah.
to communicate out what we know, what we think to be true.
Yeah.
It's,
Well, and they're useful. Like this is like his thing is that, feelings and biases and whatever, it's not that they're not useful because they do serve a purpose.
Yep.
But he said, your feelings aren't telling you about who you are or whatever. They're just telling you. So the analogy he used yesterday was rose-colored glasses, right? So if you're wearing rose-colored glasses, everything has this rosy tint to it. And all your feelings are telling you is that what glasses you're wearing. So you're wearing your rose-colored glasses. You should take them off and change them to gold-colored glasses or whatever it is that aligns with what you're trying to accomplish.
Makes sense.
Anyway, it's very profound, and I don't know. It's kind of a mind fuck a little bit. Like it's because you start questioning. Like, I'll give you an example. So I've been a big 7 Habits of Highly Effective people disciple for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And habit one is be proactive. It's the gap between stimulus and response. You have the ability to choose your response.
Yep.
And I've always bought into that and believed it and tried to practice it, and subvert my feelings to principles, all this kind of stuff. But it's kind of like this is another level up from that, whereas it's not, it's like how was I thinking about it yesterday? It's just like you not only do you have your ability to choose between stimulus and response, but you have the ability to choose the stimulus, and the response and the gap. It's just it's just like another plane of existence almost. Anyway, it's very deep.
It's hard to wrap your mind around it, because immediately when you're presented with these concepts, the first thing that you fall back on is your mind. So
exactly.
I'm starting to think through what you're saying by trying to rationalize it and fit into some sort of a conformity of what I know to be true.
Yeah.
And that by
definition,
itself
is the opposite. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the opposite.
Well, it's funny because every time I think, it's like, holy shit, I think I got it now. And then I try to do what you just described. Like I try to put it in a box and use my intellect to unravel it and figure it out. And then it kind of goes away. Because that's not it. Because the more you kick in your intellect and your brain to unravel it and figure it out and make sense of it, the louder the machine revs up and distorts the clarity, and you start getting back into thought. Anyway, it's this guy's, when you watch him too on camera, like he'll sit there and you'll be talking to him, and then he'll just suddenly close his eyes, and it's almost like he goes away, like he goes into a meditative state himself to digest what's happening between him and the client, and then he kind of comes out of it and he says something like brilliantly simple, that takes the person to the next place that they need to be to move along in their journey. Anyway, it's very masterful. Anyway, it's very interesting. I'm really, truthfully, I already feel like I've gotten my money's worth out of this course, and it's not even, we're only 2 weeks in out of 12 weeks.
That is fascinating.
So
I look forward to finding out how this all, what does this lead up to?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, lead into.
Yeah. No, me too. It's quite interesting.
Oh boy, this was.
But anyway, I'm going to get to work on my version of leadership for holistic nutritionist practitioners.
Well, would you need to adapt a lot?
No.
Or would you just change the title?
Change the title and the color. There's a few things in, and maybe I'll ask you for some ideas. There's a few parts in the script that are specific to each of the courses, that we can kind of work on, but it's not much. But I think that's a great idea.
Excellent. I'm happy. And I'm going to go fix whatever the hell was happening to my ads, because I think I realized why my ads were not working. I'm sorry, as we were speaking.
That's okay. What did you figure out?
So in the leads ad, you create a form where people go through the questions and then they click the button to sign up to your course.
Yeah.
I created a form, I'm sure of it. I just clicked on the form. The form is absolutely blank. The fact that I got 7 people to convert is absolutely amazing. In other words, I'm asking people to click on something and then there's nothing. So I just spent $100. Live and learn.
But is that Is that real? Is that possible? There was nothing and you still got 7 people to convert? Yeah.
Yeah. People clicking through. Now I was wondering, like, why am I getting like such random answers? Because I was supposed to have two questions in the
Yeah.
form.
Yeah.
It's like, why was I getting random answers? It's like, yeah, there are no questions. How? Facebook is it's not fickle, it's poorly designed. It's because it's like been composed of different aspects.
Yeah. Okay, well, go fix that.
You know what? I should have, like, the more I think about it, I should have gone into psychiatry or psychoanalysis or something like that. It's fascinating.
Yeah. Well, this guy, he says, he's basically, he's not running a course or teaching people coaching. He's starting a movement. Like these 3 principles is a movement, and he says this is a new direction for the field of psychology. That's like up till now, psychology has not been a principle-based field, but these are the fundamental principles for psychology. Like his goal is quite a lofty one. It's to something to the effect of create the first generation of kids who grow up already knowing these principles. So the example he gives is germ theory, right? So until I think it was the 1850s or 1880s, something like that, they didn't know about germs. So more people died from surgery and things from infection because doctors didn't wash their hands or clean their tools, et cetera, et cetera. But we've all grown up with germ theory. Like we all just know. Like it's part of our knowledge base of our existence that you have to wash your stuff. Wash your hands, wash your utensils, wash your food, implements, whatever. So his thing is he wants to create the first generation where everyone, it's just common knowledge, these principles.
That's interesting.
So it's quite a lofty goal.
I wonder.
Which is why he needs my app.
Huh?
Which is why he needs to buy my app to
To
deliver his content to the
people?
masses and build his momentum for his movement.
It's interesting. It's very interesting that I'm just curious I would be curious to know how many people realize the essentials of. It's like how many people realize how powerful this stuff is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Not many. I mean, I think, we all live in such a fucked up illusion. It's like, look what you and I are doing, right? And the whether you call it imposter syndrome or self-doubt or whatever, but like I know we both have these moments where it's like the illusion that the world is trying to make us live in is that you need to go work for a corporation and earn a salary. Like that's your only viable way to make a living and take care of your kids. And even like you go to, like I went to the bank to renew my mortgage and they asked me, are you still at Loyalty One? I'm like, no, I'm now self-employed. And she was kind of like, oh, well, it wasn't a problem this time, but like if I was applying for a new mortgage, it would be a problem.
Yep.
Like the system is not set up to make it successful for people to do what you and I are doing. In fact, the system is set up to make us fail.
That's true.
And if you look at the system, it's like it's all. And if you look at what's going on, partially in Canada, but in the U.S. to a large degree, they're moving in this direction of government dependence that's unlike anything they've ever had in their history.
True.
And it's like,
fact.
Yeah, and it's like, well, this is such a fucked up reality. Like, why would anyone want to live in those circumstances? But it's and this is the whole narrative of like, well, without us there to save you, you're going to be helpless. Well, no, we have 200,000 years of evolution on our side. Like, we can survive this pandemic and the next pandemic and whatever else is coming our way. Like, we've been doing it as a species for hundreds of thousands of years.
And yet, the vast majority of people don't see it that way.
No. No.
Excellent, my friend.
All right. I know. Deep conversation for a Tuesday morning.
Yeah, it is. It is. I'm. There's a slight potential for me being just a bit late tomorrow. I have a Cairo appointment,
Okay.
but I don't think I'll be late.
Okay.
I'll ping you if I am.
All right.
And if I am, it's going to be by a couple of minutes only.
Do you have any expectations or plans for Friday and Monday, Easter Friday and Monday?
In terms of,
Well, taking the day off or not doing their call or whatever?
well, no, actually, no, absolutely not. Monday, my course kicks off.
Okay.
Friday, I'm going to be polishing up, checking. It's a kind of, because Friday I'm admitting everyone into the Facebook group, so
Yeah.
it all starts.
Okay.
Now I have to do a massive catch up on my ads because obviously I've been doing some bad stuff.
Yeah.
Fuck.
All right. So we're still on.
Yeah. So what about you?
Yeah. No, we got nothing. I mean, we're not doing anything like normally. Normally we'd be going to families' houses for Good Friday and Easter and whatever, but we're doing nothing. So
Okay.
I'm around.
Okay.
All right.
If anything changes, let me know. I actually, to be honest, I even forgot about this. I was only reminded by the fact because my son's school's out.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Anywho.
All right. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.